national championship, the road to the All-American is a grueling. Competing in 22 divisions against over 26,000 competitors. If you're one of the 50 anglers that make it to this event, you've done something special. But today, the final 5 qualifiers take to the lake. They'll be fighting for the crown of the nation's #1 weekend angler, $100,000. Hi, and welcome to Hot Springs National Park, Arkansas. This is a place that's always been about water, and we're here on the shores of Lake Hamilton for one of America's truly unique sporting events, the All-American Tournament. I'm Tommy Sanders along with Jerry McKinnis. And Jerry, these guys have been through thick and thin to get here, but once they're here, man, they found plenty of fish to catch.
They sure did. And you know, as we watch them go out here, I'm so impressed with how hard it was to get down to a final 5 amongst this group of guys. And boy, a lot of different fishing patterns going on here. These guys are throwing spinner baits in shallow water, top water baits, flipping docks, crank baiting out in 12 feet of water. So that's going to be fun to watch during the day. And these 5 guys are going to be fun too.
It's a good group of 5, the 5 who are going to compete for the $100,000 first prize. A squeaker, David Poort from Olathe, Kansas.
Always want to watch that last guy that qualifies.
The local favorite is a fellow named Keith Green from just down the road in Arkadelphia, Arkansas.
You probably remember his dad, Ricky Green, famous professional bass fisherman.
Gary Simpson, that's an incredible story there.
Oh, man, I'll let you talk about that a little later, what it was. The sentimental favorite for sure.
Guy with a lot of confidence who's happy to be here, Ricky Smith from Collinsville, Mississippi.
He announced that he's going to win. Why are we even
I guess we'll go ahead and shoot it anyway. And Jeff Coble, he's a very accomplished fisherman.
He's won an FLW, won the 3rd FLW there ever was the largest one-day stringer in a final.
All right, watch out for that guy. Watch out for all these guys. We've got a great event coming up, the 2000 All-American. Ready to crank it up and go.
I'm going to start pretty close by on a high spot out here that's got a couple of brush piles on it. See if I can hook one there this morning. I hooked a couple of fish there yesterday, and I didn't get either one of them in at different times. I'll probably start here, fish a little bit, and then probably finish the day here also.
Jeff Coble, the favorite, coming in today. He caught 12 pounds and 2 ounces on day 1, 11 pounds on day number 2. Lead the pack into the final. These final 5 anglers started this 3-day event against 50 anglers who qualified from all over the country, and now they start back at 0 on this final day of competition for the championship.
And Tommy, let me give you a few rules here. They're pretty simple. 5 bass limit, have to be 12 inches long. Now, in a 12-inch bass over in Hamilton, probably going to weigh about 1 pound, so they want to catch 2 pounds and better in their size. Now, they are going to catch a lot of schooling fish, and Keith Green and the whole gang here, I bet, in the first hour are really after these schoolies.
They've been schooling here. Oh, found these in pre-practice probably. It's just a real good spot. I've fished this lake for a lot of years, and this is just maybe one of those community holes that everybody fishes, but the school of fish just kind of lives here. So I thought, what the heck, I'll start out here the first morning. And the first morning I pulled up here, and hopefully they'll come up this morning, but they schooled up, and I caught the limit really fast and caught about 13 right here before I left. Culled several times and just got ounces when I was culling, and I ended up catching a couple of good ones. You just got to really pay attention out here and watch, because they can be anywhere. This is, I'll be about 50 foot right here. It's just the creek channel. There's 2 big major creeks coming out of here. It's just a good place. And there's another one. There's one. That's a good fish too. We need that one. Stay down. Oh, they're crazy acting fish. That's a good one. Stay on here for me, baby. Coming right at you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what we need to start the day right there, baby. Woo! Good chunky fish. That's one of those good ones I've been needing every day on that starchy day out, boy. That's just a... Gotta be careful not to lose him. We'll get an 8-ounce penalty if we have one down on us. That's a good start right there. I'm proud to have that one, I guarantee you. We'll put him on the big side.
Now, you're in the right place where you can catch a limit in a hurry. And I'll tell you exactly what a schooling bass is. It's a fish that has cornered minnows, bait fish, and kind of pushed them to the surface. They have no place else to go but the surface. And on this ripple, sometimes you can't see them real good, but it does make them school a little longer. So this is a good situation.
Ah, that was good. That's a good way to start the day right there. That's about 2.5, 2 3/4 pound fish, and that's about the biggest I've been catching. There's another one. He's not near as big, but he's a keeper. Number 2, that's about an average fish out here. Nothing really big.
We're watching Keith Green, and now on the right there, that is Gary Simpson. They're both bringing in a lot of keepers early here.
And they're fishing very similar to fishing similar topwater baits.
We're off and running.
Tommy, I don't think it really matters what kind of topwater bait you're throwing if you get in the right place. Keith is throwing a Boy Howdy, which is an old cotton cardell lure. And Simpson is throwing a Japanese bait, very, very similar to Zara Spook. But the secret is getting in the right place, finding those fish right up on the surface that are scattered the minnows all across in front of you, and boy, you can catch a lot of fish doing that.
Now, what, you trying to make it look like a fish that's been sort of knocked silly by a bass, and it's sort of just skittering along the surface?
Absolutely. And the reason I say sometimes it doesn't matter what you're throwing out there, because when the fish are in those little frenzies, they're not as cautious as they are if the bait fish aren't around. So if you can just get something in front of them and make it look pretty good, you got it made.
It's a Zara Spook type bait. It's not a Zara Spook. Everything was modeled after the Zara Spook. This is a Japanese bait called a Mega Bass, and it's just a real pretty high-tech Zara Spook. Okay. I'm going to be working back toward the marker. I hope it's had enough time to regroup as far as holding fish goes.
Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by Walmart. Always low prices, always. By Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Citgo, you know me. And by Coleman, the outdoor recreation company. Gary Simpson of Gainesville, Florida, one of 5 finalists. We are at the All-American Championship, Lake Hamilton, Hot Springs National Park, Arkansas.
The key here is to keep the boat in 30 to 32 feet of water and cast up into 18 to 25 feet of water. So quite a steep incline right here. And I think the fish are ambushing the shad as they come along this wall.
This little ledge kind of runs parallel to the bank here, and you know it bends back in. So I put in over here at the fish hatchery one morning, and I was going to actually run across the lake, and the fish come up busting while I was running across the lake, and I just happened to catch them out of the corner of my eye. And I thought all this water was 40 foot deep out here, but I'm actually sitting in 15 right now. It's 40 right behind you.
I've been real lucky fishing Lake Hamilton with my good friends, the Murray twins, on an occasion or two. And you know, we're talking about contour here. Those fishermen are talking about contour. You wouldn't think that that would mix with schooling bass, but those fish that are out in the open water chasing minnows always like a good shallow place to fall back.
Of course, you've got to spend time finding these places among all these anglers. Of course, the people are saying the guy with the best chance is the local favorite, Keith Green.
I just think it may be everybody's wanting to say I was the favorite, but local knowledge really has helped me, because just knowing where the fish have been over many years of practicing over here and fishing other tournaments here, I think that's what's really helped the most. There's one. That's a keeper. Not a very big keeper, but he's a keeper. He'll get in the boat here. I haven't got him yet. Number 3 is number 3, no matter how you look at it. He's little, but he is a keeper. I'm going to grab my culling deal here.
Green fish there. This is Ricky Smith from Collinsville, Mississippi. You can't see it very well, but they say he is fluke fishing. And Jerry, that's not too much different from the top water lure. Same style, same action.
Absolutely. We're putting bait up on the top and making it look like an injured minnow. That's the big secret right here. And everybody's doing it. And, you know, I say everyone is doing it. I don't know that is a true statement, because our buddy Jeff Coble, you know that he's going to be out there throwing a crankbait, and he has not scored yet. He's the only guy who's kind of dragging up the rear right now, but he will throw that crankbait, I believe, an awful lot today. He'll probably stay with it, and he's been so successful through the years. We've seen him in FLW events before. We know that and his buddies from North Carolina, the rest of his buddies from North Carolina, that is what they throw.
We got it rocking and rolling now.
Right now we're looking at Gary Simpson from Gainesville, Florida. And Keith Green is the local favorite.
A little bit better.
Gary certainly is the sentimental favorite. What a story to get here to the All-American.
He was diagnosed in '98 with lymphoma. He had a blow to the head with a golf club, and when we went to the doctor to check it out, a lump had come up a week later on his face, and they told us no problem, not to worry about it, didn't need to do anything about it. And so finally, when it started to hurt a little, he went and had it taken out just for convenience sake. But then when it came back from the pathology lab, it was cancerous. And so he started chemotherapy right away, and he went through some real aggressive chemotherapy, and then radiation followed that, and by the end of October, he was finished with all of his treatments. And so he took November and December to recover the best he could and try to be ready for the January 1st, '99 Redman, in which he did fish, and he caught big bass in that tournament and just really boosted his courage to go ahead and do the whole tournament trail, and now we're here because of that.
This is a huge deal for me. You'd think by the 6th All-American it would be old hat, but it's not that way. Winning this tournament is all that counts for me. I don't aspire to anything else. I don't want to fish any pro trail. I have done that, and it's great, but I just can't be away from home that long. This is as good as it gets for me, and this is the best opportunity that I've ever had, very possibly the best opportunity I'll ever have. So today's the day, so I am excited.
Today is the day for Gary Simpson. What a story. There's Jeff Coble. As we look at our leaderboard, we can see 4 of our competitors on the board early, but our favorite coming into this competition, Jeff Coble, still hunting and searching. See if he scores when he returns. Watching the All-American Championship, Lake Hamilton, Hot Springs, Arkansas, the favorite coming into the final day. This man right here, Jeff Coble.
Sometimes I put an extra O-ring on the back hook, so maybe they'll get the hook a little bit better, but it causes the hooks to become hooked more, but I kind of feel like you might get a fish that you normally wouldn't like that.
Jeff Coble is sticking with his plan, Jerry. He's still throwing that crankbait while everyone else is catching the schooling.
Yeah, and I want you to pay attention all through the show. Jeff Coble will sit down for the whole day. Unlike most guys, you know, are standing up and kind of leaning against the back seat. And he's lost a fish right there. He cannot seem to get on the board, but you know what, Tommy? He has been on the board before, hasn't he?
Absolutely. Back in 1995 was the first year for the Walmart FLW Tour. The third event of the year 1995 was held here in Santee Cooper, South Carolina. Wonderful lake. Back in that year, it was probably at its peak during 1990. Lots of cover for bass. Man, did they ever catch it. And Jeff caught the largest one-day stringer we ever had caught to this day still. Absolutely.
On an FLW Tour event. And, you know, at that time I thought, boy, Jeff Coble, he must be a worm-flipping son of a gun, you know. and he was, but, you know, it was a little later on that we began to realize that he is such an expert with that crankbait, and I'm telling you, when he sits down and starts getting that rod tip low to the water, I know he doesn't have any fish yet, but you better watch out.
Well, as you can see, he's behind this man right here, Ricky Green.
Golly, he's going this way. Holy cow, that's the bad thing about throwing that far. Golly. I need an automatic retriever on that. My arm's about to fall off now. Come on, Bacon. Get it. Golly. There he goes, chasing another way. I just can't get in front of him. He's crazy. Oh, there's 2 or 3 there. There's 2 or 3 there. That's my school I've been looking for if I can get one. Oh, it's a big school, too. It's a big school. Big school. Come on. Oh, I can't believe it. I'm right in the middle of them. They're not biting. Holy cow. You gotta be kidding me. Oh my gosh. Look right here, baby. Come off. Just grabbed it, barely missed it. That's my big school I've been looking for. Good grief. Plumb amazing. Oh my gosh, that's just sickening. Can't squander an opportunity like that. There's one. I've got him hooked bad, or I don't know, I can't tell pulling him how good he is. Feels pretty good. He's not very big. I barely got him hooked. I think he's number 5. And that's what we're counting on today is 5. So that's my tournament limit. Give me a little bit. I know he's bigger than the smallest one that I have. So that's 5. Get back up here because this schooling fish deal is quick as you can get back out there.
Pretty exciting stuff from Ricky Green, just down the road, Arkadelphia, Arkansas, North Carolina. Here's Jeff Cole, the only man still not on the board, still searching.
That was pretty exciting watching those schooling bass, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
And again, everybody but Jeff is doing that. Everyone out there is chasing schooling bass at the moment, and that's the reason why they're racking up so many catches so fast.
Not a monster, but
David Poort on the left, Ricky Smith on the right. They definitely do have their hands full with schooling fish. Jeff Coble looking intently. He may be looking for some schooling fish himself before it's all over with. Take a look at the leaderboard right now. Keith Green, all the excitement out there with the schoolers. He's your leader. 5 fish, 7 pounds. We'll be back. The Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by EverStart Batteries. More power for your money. By Evinrude Outboards and Electrics, the world's most refined engines. By Mitchell, redefining tradition. And by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. They call this the #1 tournament in the world for the working man, for the fisherman who's not a professional fisherman. This is the All-American one. Lake Hamilton, Hot Springs, Arkansas, $100,000 to our winner today. 5 finalists going at it. Looking at David Smith right there from Mississippi. Of course, this is the first show of the year for the Walmart FLW Tour, and we will get into the actual tour itself next Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, a 2-hour extravaganza from Lake Okeechobee.
And I always think about this tournament being a mixture of pros and guys that really don't do it for a living. The FLW will get us back into the Clark Windlets and the Daniels and the Cluns and the David Fritz, so the big boys are coming up.
What I'm going to do right quick, I'm going to pitch my buoy marker out here, just to know, because yesterday they were holding on a piece of brush on that ledge there, and they were breaking over top of it. So if I can just keep my bearings in this area, I can throw them all around here and look. Oh, I don't throw myself out above. It's only about 14 foot right here. That's when they really get active, when they get up on top of that ridge. I guess they run the bait out of the deep channel over here in 30, 35. There's two good ones right there. Oh, that's a big fish. If I can catch him, we will be in good shape. Oh, that was a monster. There he is, too. Stay down, baby. These fish are unbelievable jumpers. He's not, I really honestly don't believe this is a fish that jumped over my bait. This isn't the fish that jumped over my bait, but it's a good one. This isn't the big one. That's the thing with schooling fish. Sometimes you catch the smaller one because they're a little bit faster.
He's starting the culling process here. He probably picks up a few ounces every time he calls a fish. Remember now, it's not the number of fish, it's the total weight these guys are after.
There's fish breaking out there. I don't know what they are. They are definitely breaking.
Well, there you go. Jeff Coble started the day with his deep cranking plan. Finally took something visual
And he missed.
to get him in the school, so to speak.
I guess he's with the old if you can't beat them, join them deal at the moment here.
Why not?
But I heard Keith say the magic word there a minute ago in that some of these fish yesterday, he threw out a marker and he said these fish yesterday dropped down on a brush pile.
I got him on the worst thing in the world.
They dropped down on a brush pile. That's where you got to watch out for these crankbait guys, because then it's going to change. You know, these fish that are swimming around there chasing minnows are going to find themselves some covers, and then they'll be set up for a crankbait or a worm or something down in the bush.
A guy like Jeff Coble.
Absolutely.
Well, that'll be one at 9 o'clock as usual. I spent a lot of time here. I did probably a little differently than most of the competitors. I'd never heard tell of the lake before, so I knew it had to be fairly small. I didn't get any local help. I just came out during the winter of the lake. I heard the lake was down like 5 feet. I looked around, moved a few brush piles where I wanted them to be, and just, you know, took my chances that might work, because I had no history of the lake. I didn't know what might work, but I knew that if I could catch fish like that, I wouldn't have a lot of competition doing that.
A little bit of a revelation from Jeff Coble. I know you visited with him when he was through.
Oh,
Did you know that was what he was up to?
Yeah, absolutely. Those guys really worked hard. Those guys, David Wright, his fishing buddies over in North Carolina, came with him, and they didn't even. They went out, didn't even take a rod and reel with them most of the time. They just went out and worked on brush piles. And I hate to keep wearing this out, but I want to say once again that these guys, Jeff and David Fritz and Gerald Beck, that's what they do. They fish these brush piles. They set up on them perfectly. They work hard. We'll tell you a little bit later how they set up on them. It is so important.
I have another one with him, so there'll be a few more out here. I was actually counting on the fact that a lot of these guys hadn't been in this situation of this final day cut deal where you got media and TV cameras and stuff rolling. I think that'll intimidate a lot of them and maybe play with their mind a little bit. And boats following them around, I'm pretty used to that. I think that might hurt a couple of them that are not used to that. Hopefully, I'll take any advantage I can get right now.
Okay. That's 4. Not bad quality-wise. Probably not good enough to win, but I'll just feel so much better with 5 of them in the box. I guess I better retie.
I got him. Oh, it's a little fish. But you know what? I love him right now just as much as I do a 6-pounder. Look at the black spots on him. Isn't that pretty? Gorgeous. A lot of these fish up here have these. I don't know what that is. I'm sure a biologist could tell us, but let's weigh him up. Ooh. 1.6. Well, that's better than not having him.
$100,000 will be the paycheck for the winner today in this Redman All-American Tournament. These guys have gone a long way to get here. 22 divisions all across America. You have to finish in the top 30 in your division, then finish in the top 8 in your regional to make it here to this contest. So the best of the best from a big body of fishermen are here, and the final 5 are in action.
They talk all the time about how tough it is getting here.
Try to put a hook in me.
Thinking about the things you just said, imagine the problems you have making it to this day, man.
Absolutely. Good days, bad days, you got to put up with all of them and prevail in the end. And these are the 5 guys who have.
And you're down, stretching out a little 12.
Wow. Oh, no! That didn't just happen, did it?
And more problems, Tommy.
Oh, my God.
Guess he wasn't
not over
meant to be.
yet for David Poort of Olathe, Kansas. Man,
That happens. You like to think a fish like that doesn't cost you, but you never know at the end of the day, or till the end of the day. But he's a chunky little fish. He would have definitely been one I'd want to call. But I'd like to have him now because he'd have been my 3rd fish of the morning. And it's always a good thing to, to get that limit, little or not, and then you can go to work and set on a place like where we started there this morning, so I can, I can set there and just till I get the bites I want.
Well, I guess the good thing there is that he was measuring that fish, and maybe it wasn't going to measure.
Yeah, hopefully that meant it wasn't so big. I hope so. Gosh, that hurts to watch.
If that had been about a 2.5 pounder, how about that?
He'd have gone in after it.
Boy, that would have been
I would
tough.
have.
Well, speaking of 2.5 pounders,
That's 5 at 9:30.
He's going to take over the lead by just a few ounces over Keith Green.
Got one over there. Well, it must be the world's record. That guy's going to win the tournament if that thing's as big as it looks. It must be a non-species. No, I guess it's a bass. That is not good. That's a big fish right there.
Hybrid striper. Probably weighs 10 pounds.
Please. That was a sigh of relief that he threw him back, because that was a nice fish. I don't know what species it was, but I was worried.
Well, Keith Green, they've been calling you the favorite since they, heard that you made it into the All-American. I know that's not easy. They call it your home lake. This really isn't your home lake, is it?
No, sir, it really isn't. I'm close. I'm 35 miles from here, but I really don't come over here to fish a whole lot, to tell you the truth. Got a really good lake right there at my home, and when I'm home from traveling around fishing all the time, I usually just go spend my time out there. So I don't fish over here that often.
Hey, Keith, aren't you about ready to? I know you're just as proud as you can be of your dad, but aren't you kind of looking forward to breaking away and becoming a guy on your own?
Yeah, that's right, Jerry. It really, I'm proud of my dad and proud of everything he's done, but it just comes a time in your career that you've got to separate yourself and try to make a name for yourself. And actually this week I've listened to the TV and Craig O'Neill called me Ricky Green both times. So,
see?
I want to talk to Craig when we get done with this deal. When they give me...
You know what? It changed his mind better than anything.
Yeah.
Win this deal.
When you're fishing for these schooling fish, you know, I realize you're going to fish for whichever one strikes.
Right.
But don't you kind of get the feeling that the fish that you don't see break might be a little bit larger?
Oh, sure. We'll have it on camera, but this morning it happened about a three-pounder, I believe. You'll probably see it. It jumped over the top of my bait, and then I worked it a couple more feet, and I caught one, but he was a 2-pounder. So I know it wasn't the same fish, and that's usually what happens with schooling fish is you catch the smaller one.
Yeah, they're a little more aggressive, aren't they?
Yeah, they're a little bit more aggressive. So, but sometimes when they go down and you just get one to come up, it's a big fish, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do right now. They've really quit breaking per se, and they're just kind of just sitting there. And if I can get one to come up and bite, usually it'll be a little bit better fish in the afternoon.
And you know, I don't want to get back on your dad again, but just tell us, what is your dad doing right now?
Well, I believe he's en route right now. Probably he was over at Mississippi River. We have a FLW over in Memphis next week, and he was practicing a couple days over there. That's why he wasn't at the weigh-in the first 2 days. So he told me if I made top 5, he was going to come. So I got a hold of him last night and said, you better come on.
So he just cranked up and headed back over here from Memphis, which isn't but about 3 hours away.
Yeah, that's right. It's real close, so that worked out really good this time.
All right, we'll be looking for Ricky, and we'll see you at the weigh-in for sure, Keith.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, now we've got 4 out of the 5 of us fishing one pretty small area. I'm amazed at that. I guess that tells you something. Maybe I picked a good spot to fish.
I don't know how many times we've seen it before, a big lake to fish in, and 4 or 5 of our final 5 guys wind up in the same spot.
It
I
always
knew they
happens,
couldn't resist
and you know
forever.
what? That happens when you got 5 good fishermen together. They're going to eventually find the right place, and many of them will be doing the same thing, using the same technique, and then
That's a better
filter
fish.
down to the same piece of water.
Gary Simpson found a good fish there. It looked like a pretty good sized bass.
It's a little bit better. That one will push 2 pounds at least.
It's the All-American from Hot Springs National Park, Arkansas. We're on Lake Hamilton. Keith Green leads our final 5 competitors here on Championship Day. That man's looking to make up some ground right there. That is Jeff Coble, Henderson, North Carolina.
And we talked earlier about how they set up on these fish, and that is so important. Probably need an hour to talk about that.
Yeah.
But Jeff and where he sets up on the brush piles is extremely important. Same thing with Keith right here. He is not fishing for schooling bass. He's fishing in the same area.
Yes, sir.
Now he's fishing
Yes, sir.
on the bottom with a grub. You know, just again trying to find these
That's
spots
what we're
where the
looking for
fish
right there.
go
That's the quality fish I
after
gotta have
they've
wind.
been schooling. Things
Man,
are starting
that's
to
a good
settle
one.
down a
Thank
little
you,
bit.
Lord.
Now.
He's picked up a good
Thank
one
you,
A
here.
real good one, and I think that's what we'll see is better fish when they start catching
help
them
right
in
there,
a little
buddy.
bit more depth.
That helped.
He's got about a pound lead now on the rest of the field, and back to cranking now is Jeff Coble.
And again, when he's setting down, he's finding the right place to fish and continuing to stay in that spot. He does better.
Oh, gosh. Oh, my, oh, my, oh, my. Oh, oh. Glad he was hooked good. If I catch a couple more of them, it might be a good day.
Jeff Coble looking to become the next winner of the All-American. That is a distinguished list when you look through the years back in the 80s. Pretty big name. Shaw Grigsby won one. So did Rick Blunt. O.T. Fears moved into the 90s. More winners. Joe Thomas, you can see there. Clark Wentland, former Angler of the Year. The Walmart FLW Tour. Doug Garrett, all the rest. In the mid-90s, Stephen Browning, who could forget that emotional victory on the Arkansas River at Pine Bluff. Same place the next year. Daniel Branscombe from out in the Las Vegas area came down to show the Southern boys how to fish. Kim Parber, the winner at La Crosse, Wisconsin on the Mississippi River, and Mike Baldwin taking advantage of the no-call rule 1999 in La Crosse.
Man, what a list of heavy-duty fishermen. Our 5 guys today are in an interesting situation. They're all fishing in the same area, practically looking each other in the eye as they make a cast. Jeff Coble nearly jumped out of the boat a minute ago when somebody caught a big striper, so everybody needs to pay attention to their own fishing.
Well, they're still here. Those are the better fish coming up. Oh, baby, come on to daddy. Come to daddy. Better fish. Welcome home. Post-spawn, see the tail bleeding? They're out here healing. I'm gonna get well. We're here for the day, guys.
Welcome back. We're in Hot Springs, Arkansas. This is Lake Hamilton, one of 3 big lakes on the Ouachita River. This is the site of the 2000 All-American Tournament. The leader right now is Keith Green. Not too far behind is that man right there, Gary Simpson from Gainesville, Florida. He's got another fish on.
And I keep thinking that in order to win this tournament, you've got to start fishing on the bottom.
It's a good one, too.
Crankbait or a grub like Keith Green was doing there a minute ago. But boy, we could be wrong. Obviously, if you catch enough fish schooling, 5 of them are going to be pretty good size. So this may be the right technique. Boy, they're catching a lot of fish.
Gary Simpson, if this one will work, it's a keeper fish. This is going to be a 7th fish.
And the wind is, again, very important. And also the cloud cover is very important because that dictates how the minnows move around, or whether they move around, and that in turn tells you what's going to happen with the bass. They are definitely going to chase those minnows when they get up near the surface.
Lay down, baby.
He's got another one on there.
Can't tell how big she is.
You can tell by the background, Tommy.
Oh, yeah,
still
she'll
fishing
help.
in the same place there.
Absolutely.
And these guys line up on these spots. They get some markers on the bank. They need to get 2 markers on the bank and actually line the 2 markers up. That's how they find these exact. Boy, these are good fish.
That is a good
That's
one
him,
there.
buddy. That's another color.
Solidify his lead just a little bit more right there.
They have to line up these 2 markers and then work really hard to find that brush pile. But
of course, you don't need a marker to see that. That is what we're looking for right there, right?
That is some real schooling fish right now. And
what an incredible shot. That is great.
They're just gorging themselves on small bait that probably, I'll bet it's about 1 inch long, maybe a little bit longer than that, and they corner. You know, bass is just like an animal. They will corner the bait. Sometimes they even corner it against the bank, and as you can see right there, just tear it.
Give you an idea how I'm setting up on this place. I'm just using a simple method of triangulation. And what I'm doing, I've got a flagpole over there on this point, and there's some particular houses over there that I'm lining up this way. Then down here we've got some big radio towers up on a mountain, and I'm lining up off a boathouse down there. So the deal is, when you find these places offshore like this, just, ooh, there, look at that big fish bust down there. Good gracious. Just get you a couple of triangulation lineups, and you can come right in on these places. It's not difficult.
There he is. That's not a white bass. I don't believe on that.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
He acts like it's another big one. He is crankbait big time right now. Seems like our fish here in the last hour and a half of this particular part of the day have been about a half a pound larger, Tommy. Well, it sure looks like it. Jeff Coble's got one of the big ones there.
That's almost a catastrophe.
Big things for him, just a few ounces now behind the leader, Keith Green. Now I'm back on the crankbait.
That helps.
I think it's
Big time.
Schooling bass is that. All right, well, you know. You just bounce back and forth. I still
got to get it hooked up.
I still think the better fish will be caught off the bottom, but you never can tell, boy.
There we
they're
go.
schooling. David Poort still looking for his limit. Be his fifth keeper right there.
Don't come off, baby. Don't come off.
All right, you don't worry about him coming off before he gets in the boat. When he gets in the boat, that's where
Yeah,
you want
that's
to hang
where
on
he
to
is
him,
headed.
David. Remember now, hang on. Put your foot on him
None do
just
this.
slightly.
You're a bad guy, Tommy.
No, I don't mean to kid
Number
David. That's
5.
good. That's a limit for David Poort now. He's got
I
5.
ain't laying that bait down another time.
We are down to the final 5 here in Hot Springs, Arkansas, on Lake Hamilton. It's the All-American. Keith Green and Jeff Coble are sitting atop the field right now. It's pretty much come down to these 2 guys.
About all you can hope for in these things is to get yourself into a position to win. I got enough fish now. I think I'm in a position to win. I just need to catch a 3-pounder to make it happen. And I'm just going to keep doing what I've been doing, fishing some more brush, and hopefully I'll catch one before the day's over. I only have an hour and a half.
Keith Green, same place it looks like here.
And I have to say, Tommy, that I'm really pulling for Keith here. We have a lot of friends in the top 5.
Sure, absolutely. Jeff's a good friend. They're all great guys.
Yeah, but man, I tell you what, I've known Ricky for so many years. I've worked so hard with Keith right now. He is close. You're right. I think
My rod
he
broke.
And Coble have kind of
How's that for the
separated
camera?
themselves from the other guys. Someone needs to catch a 4 or 5 pounder. And I don't think they're going to do that.
That's not a bad fish, though, there for Keith.
Fishing a little bit of depth, and Jeff Coble, of course, is fishing in a little bit of depth.
I believe that'll help.
Schooling fish. Broke his rod on that fish there, didn't he, Tommy?
That's incredible.
Okay,
You
get
can hear
out
the
of
pop.
here.
It's an unmistakable
Line it,
sound.
boy.
Hey, you know what? Every time Coble gets done fishing a brush pile, before he leaves it, he throws a worm in it. Practically every time. A worm, sometimes a jig, but he throws it in there just for, just a shot or 2, and then he moves to another brush pile.
With that last fish, he's down about a pound now to Keith Green.
And he's fishing with when he fishes a crankbait, he's fishing with a homemade Zoom lure Ed Chambers crankbait.
Pulling pretty good.
Now this is a worm right here, I believe.
Yeah, that's what he put on, right?
Right, and you can tell by the way he was working it. Worked up the crankbait.
Oh, that's a good one. Well, it looked a little bigger. That's not bad.
No, we're talking about ounces now, Tom.
Yeah.
Really. Just an ounce of food is going to make a big difference, I'll bet you.
I think.
That may have caught Keith Green right there. And boy, this would be a big one for Keith Green to win.
I've been trying for several years just to make it to the All-American, and really 6 years to get here. And boy, if I wanted it would just be, it would help my fishing career. I already fish full time, but everybody knows that does it that it's a hard way to make a living because it's hard to depend on your winnings. But 100,000, that'd go a long ways for me. It would help me out tremendously. Been struggling a little this year, not doing very well in the FLW or the bass tournaments. So, man, it'd mean a lot. It really would. And not just that, just to finally get a big win like that, because I've been trying at a lot of tournaments. But you never know what's going to happen until you go way in. But I like my chances right now. I'm going in. I think I've done my due. close enough. We just got to put it on the trailer and see what's going to happen. I feel good about it.
No really huge fish today, but man, it has been a great battle. Keith Green and this man here, Jeff Coble, neck and neck. Too close to call at this point. Just going to have to see what happens at the weigh-in.
Well, that's it for the 2000 Redman All-American. Tell your friends you saw it on ESPN.
The Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by ShopVac. The only thing more powerful is our name. By Timex, it takes a licking and keeps on ticking. By Weed Eater, yards ahead, season after season. And by Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans.
A battle between 5 fishermen today with lots of fish from every boat. I think, though, it's no secret it will come down to Keith Green and Jeff Coble for the championship.
Wonderful. We have come to the moment of truth here. We have Jeff Coble in the lead. He's 11 pounds, 6 ounces. 11.6. Jeff, come on up here. We want everybody to get a good look at what goes on up here. 11 pounds, 6 ounces, a limit having been weighed in. Keith Green has weighed in 4 fish.
He could have one more left.
He could have one more left. He might not have one more left. He needs 2 pounds, 10 ounces to win the 2000 Redman All-American. Keith, let's see. All right. Got to be 210. Got to be 210. 2 pounds, 10 ounces is what we're looking for here. But Keith Green, going to be close. Going to be close. 1 fish. 2 pounds, 4 ounces. Oh, my goodness. There's your champion, Jeff Coble. Jeff Coble from Henderson, North Carolina. What a great bunch of guys. Man, oh, man. There's the champ right there. Take his picture real quick. Don't go anywhere, Keith. What do you think, big guy?
I guess I finally got the big one.
Yeah, you finally closed the deal on this one, the big one, biggest one you've ever won, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Tell us how you did it all week long. Great groundwork, great research. You visited here during the holidays and did your homework. That's what started it all, wasn't it, Jeff?
Yeah, it is. And like I said in one of the press conferences, I knew that the lake, in fact, the only person I called was Jerry McInnes to find out if he even knew where the lake was and how big it was. And he told me he didn't know much about it, so he called Bobby Murray. I think he lives here.
Oh, yeah.
And Bobby told him that the lake was like 7,000 acres and basically told him that it was down in the wintertime. So we took a chance that it would be down, and David and I came out here in between Christmas and New Year's, and it was down about 5 feet. And we weren't on the water long before, you know, I looked, there was a few brush piles sticking out of the water and basically boat docks. And I said, well, it's going to be one, either flipping boat docks or fishing man-made brush piles because there's no other options, really. You know, I didn't expect to catch a lot in those brush piles. I thought that, you know, there were still some fish spawning. I thought they would still be pretty shallow, but I did pretty good, actually.
How about a Fuji flashback today that details David Poort's unusual method of releasing fish?
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of Go Network, go.com.